What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to another gun guide. This is the series where I go into great detail with all of the stats as well as some excellent attachment combinations, although that won't apply today for every gun in Black Ops 6. And in today's episode, we're going to be covering the nail gun, which is the final event reward for the Black Ops 6 tribute event. And let's just dive right into the damage profile, and with this, it's going to be a 3 to 5 shot kill depending on the range. And when it comes to our headshot multiplier, this is 1.3, and what this means is in the second 2 damage ranges, all you need is 1 headshot mixed in with body shots to reduce the number of shots to kill. Up close though, in that maximum damage range, it's just always going to be a 3-shot kill. There's no 2-shot kill potential. As for our rate of fire, this is quite slow for a full auto at least, at 517 rounds per minute. And what this means for our time to kill potential is with a 3-shot kill, we're killing in just 232 milliseconds, which is a very fast time to kill in this game. That's actually faster than all but 2 of the SMGs right up close and personal, so very solid there. Keep in mind, I am going to be comparing the stats of this primarily to pistols, just because this is a secondary weapon, although it is in the special slot. It's not technically a pistol, but you would use it in place of a pistol, so that's why I'm using that as the comparison. Next up though, let's have a look at our ranges, and as we can see here, our 3-shot kill range is quite short. It's just 7.6 meters. Although I guess relative to pistols in this game, that's pretty much average for a maximum damage range. And then our 4-shot kill potential will extend out to 15.2 meters. Anything beyond that is going to be a 5-shot kill, so it's definitely not really designed to excel beyond anything but close quarters engagements, and that's especially true due to the bullet velocity, or nail velocity in this case, I guess. This is just 100 meters per second. This is by far the slowest in the entire game. This means our hit scan range is literally only 5 meters. And then as soon as you get beyond that, you really have to start leading targets. If they're moving perpendicular to you, you really have to lead quite a bit. And you're going to have to compensate quite a lot for nail drop as well. It will be dropping off quite a bit if you start stretching out your ranges at all. So you're generally going to want to have to aim high. And this is where I also wanted to just bring up a current bug with the nail gun, although the developers have acknowledged this. It's on the Trello board, so this will likely get fixed fairly soon. But at least as of right now, your actual point of aim when aiming down sight on the nail gun is not where you'd expect, right at the top of your front sight. It's actually at the base of your front sight. So this is yet another reason that you generally want to be aiming high, not just for that nail drop, but also due to this sight misalignment. So definitely a big thing to be aware of, but let's circle back to our ranges and have a look at hardcore. And in hardcore modes, this will always be a 1-hit kill anywhere in the body at any range. Although again, hitting them at longer ranges is going to be quite difficult due to that really slow velocity. And next, let's have a look at an area where this gun really excels, and this is with Hipfire. It turns out our maximum hipfire spread, even while moving and shooting, is just 3 degrees, which is better than the average minimum spread when it comes to pistols when you're just standing still, not moving, and not shooting. And then our minimum spread is a little bit tighter than our maximum spread at roughly 2.4 degrees. That is hand tested, but it's at least right in the ballpark there. And this means this gun really excels at hip firing, especially since you should be in super close quarters situations anyway to get the most out of this. And then when you factor in the fact that while moving and shooting, your hip fire spread is still extremely tight, that makes this one of the best ways to use the nail gun in a lot of situations at least. Obviously, there will be some situations where you want to get aimed down sight, but hip firing is very effective. Now, if you do aim down sight, let's have a look at our recoil, and as we can see here, it's got very consistent, straight up recoil with essentially 0 side-to-side bounce, no horizontal deviation here, at least no notable horizontal deviation, especially within the ranges where you'll use this. So it's extremely easy to control this while aiming down sight and firing as well. Essentially with this, recoil should never be a problem for you. The biggest problem is going to end up being your velocity. As for our handling stats, our aim down sight time is excellent, although a little bit slower than pistols on average. It's still really good at 180 milliseconds. Our sprint to fire time is also incredibly fast at just 100 milliseconds. And then our slide to fire and dive to fire times are also very fast, just like we'd expect with most of the sidearms in this game. Then let's have a look at our reload add time, and as you can see here, it is quite fast. It's just 1.27 seconds, and it is worth noting we get a 15-round magazine capacity, and we don't have any option to put any attachments on this, so it's not like you can increase your magazine capacity or improve your reload time. This is just what you're going to get no matter what. And then finally, for the base stats, before we get into a few other quirks and questions you might have about it, let's have a look at our mobility stats. And as we can see here, all of our movement speeds are fast. They're just not quite as fast as what you'd normally expect with a pistol in this game. But if you compare this to like an SMG, for instance, it's very comparable in that sense. And now that we have all of that covered, let's move on to a few other elements with this that make this very different from most of the guns in this game, or also just answering a few questions you might have, because there were definitely some questions I had when I started testing with it. And the first question that came to mind here is, when you fire this, will that create a minimap ping for enemy players, as if you're firing an unsuppressed gun? And the reason I ask this is it's a little bit confusing. In game, it kind of sounds like a suppressed weapon, but at the same time, hilariously, when you fire this, you have a huge muzzle flash. So that's kind of conflicting information there and also complete nonsense. But it turns out when firing this, you do generate a minimap ping. So it's the same as firing a non-suppressed weapon. So definitely something to be aware of, especially since we can't put a suppressor on this, since we have no access to any attachments. Next, what about penetration? Can you shoot through surfaces at all with this, even like really thin surfaces? And it turns out that's another thing that separates this from regular guns in the game. There is 0 penetration with this as far as I can tell. You can't shoot through anything, which in some specific situations may put you at a disadvantage, but it's usually something you can just try to avoid running into. After that, a really weird quirk in Black Ops Cold War with its nail gun is it was countered by the trophy system in that game. So if you shot a nail gun toward a trophy system, the trophy would actually block the nail in midair. So I was curious to see if that would happen in Black Ops 6 as well, and it turns out no, it does not get countered by the trophy system. And not only that, it's actually a really good counter to the trophy system because it only requires 1 nail hitting that trophy system to destroy it. Or like I said, you could just shoot around the trophy system and the trophy will totally ignore your nails. And there we go. That's finally going to wrap it up for all of the stats, as well as many of the quirks that I wanted to test with the nail gun. Now I wanted to answer the big question, is it any good? Is it worth using in this game as a secondary weapon over something like a pistol or a launcher? And in my opinion, yes, it is. It's definitely a very niche thing, and I'm not saying it's going to be like your best bet in every scenario. There's definitely still a place for using pistols or launchers, depending on your playstyle and what you want to accomplish with that secondary weapon. But if you're just using your secondary weapon for finishing off a kill up close, or just approaching somebody in really close quarter situations, and you have no intention of using it at range, the nail gun's actually pretty great in those situations. Especially when hip firing, like I mentioned earlier. And that's one of the big upsides with this, is you don't even have to bother aiming down sight. You can just swap to it and just start spraying in the general direction of your enemies. And you'll generally be hitting most of your shots if you're keeping yourself in the ranges where you should be keeping yourself while using this. And it just deals so much damage up close. That time to kill is incredible. It's going to be beating out all of the pistols in the game. Aside from the GS45, that one does have a slightly faster time to kill, but with a shorter range, and also it's far less forgiving with a slower fire rate. So the nail gun is a really, really solid option up close. And I actually really like how they decided to balance this for multiplayer. It's absolutely a super niche thing. It's very good in close quarter situations, but practically useless as you start stretching out the ranges. And I love that. I love it when they bring post-launch weapons to the game that bring an entirely new and unique dynamic to things. It behaves nothing like anything we've got in the game currently, and yet it's still very good and usable, at least at something. There are at least really good reasons to use it in certain scenarios over the existing weapons in the game. And that's really the sweet spot I like to see. It can get kind of boring if you bring a post-launch weapon that's too similar to an existing gun in the game, so it just doesn't really separate itself from existing weapons and it doesn't feel new and unique. Or alternatively, they bring something new to the game that is unique, but it's just really bad and there's no reason to use it over everything else. It's just significantly better. The nail gun, I think, has really found that nice niche sweet spot. Now, of course, these are just my opinions, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about the nail gun in those comments down below. Do you guys agree with me? Do you think it has a good place in the game, and do you think it is worth using, at least for specific scenarios, or not? Do you guys think it needs a buff, or maybe even a nerf? Just let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.